Hi guys, welcome once again. My name is Obedience and you're live on the AC Milan Fan Club Nigeria podcast. It's good to have everybody back again. We're on international break like everybody knows and it gives us a little bit of time to relax our mind. I'm here with Landon and I'm also here with Duke. Landon, how you doing?
Very much fine. Thank you very
It's nice
much.
to
It's good
have
to be back.
you on the podcast today. Duke, how are you doing today?
Yeah, did very good. Excited for to have witnessed Milan's first win of the season. Pumped up for the next game after international break.
All right, we'll get into that shortly. So we all saw what happened over the weekend. It was a 2-goal win, and if we're being very honest with ourselves, the scores does not really reflect what happened in the game. Landon, what do you think about how the game ended up and how the game was played? What do you think about it?
Well, I guess if I was going to follow your thought process or your line of thoughts, you can say that you wanted to say something like we played really bad. Well, like Duke said, I'm just happy we got 3 points, our first 3 points of the season, and very much happy that Inter lost too. So that's two things that's making me really, really happy. But there's so much to be talked about in this particular game. I don't know. There's really nothing to be excited about. Starting from the lineup, from the way we play, it seems like we are scared to play a team like Lecce. Honestly, I don't know how to put it, but it's like we have a very long way to go. And I'm thinking and hoping that the next game that things can change. It's still early in the season, and I'm sure that there's still so much time for improvement. But this is short of what we would expect the season to be like for Milan fans. That's the truth. But I'm just happy for the 3 points. Yeah, so very excited for the 3
Well,
points. Yeah.
like you rightfully said, every Milan fan out there would be very happy for the 3 points, regardless of how good or how badly we played. At the end of the day, the 3 points is the most important thing.
Yeah,
Looking at the 3 points we've gotten the 3 point. That one is already on the scoreboard. But do you think this victory and this game gives you a bit of confidence going into other games after the international break?
Yeah, I think for me, I would look at it from a different perspective, right? Um, in as much as we want to be very dominant in every game, and I think that playing against Lecce is one of those games where we should be very dominant, right? I would look at it from the perspective of it's also one of those games where we got 2 goals cancelled by VAR, and we're still able to score 2 legitimate goals, regardless. I also noticed some tactical tweaks in the game, like Fofana not playing an advanced position, which is something that I was really looking out for in this game. There are some tactical selections by Allegri that I don't 100% agree with, but I would allow it for now, and then watch the season as it progresses, basically. So I think one of the most important issues
You
that we have is that
you say allow it like you have it in it.
yeah, like allow it in.
I guess
allow
it
it in,
meant, or it means before it starts
allow
complaining.
it in the sense that I wouldn't start complaining
Is it-
about them yet until after like 5 match day.
I
match
understand.
games
I understand
into
what
the
you're
season.
saying.
So the final thing for me is that I think that the very important part of this 3-5-2 setup is to have 2 attackers that can actually play the ball up front, which is something that Jimenez does not offer us right now. So I would wait till maybe let's say Leao is back with Pulisic or Nkunku playing up front, and then reassess the overall connectivity of that formation, basically. So I would leave it at that for now, to be honest.
Okay, thank you so much, Duke. Ultimately, I just feel at the back of my mind, I feel we'll still end up switching from that 3-5-2 formation because based on everything we're seeing, it's not actually looking like it's going to work. But I'm not the manager. I'm not paid to think about this thing. So let's just let it go. So next we're going to discuss is the striker situation in Milan. Right now, we have just one established striker. And if we look at it objectively, he's not really an established striker because up until the very last moment of the season, he was most likely going to end up in Rome. But as much as so many people clamored for him leaving and him not leaving, getting Dubik instead, all of that is now over. What do you guys think about the striker situation in Milan right now? Duke, you can go.
To be honest, I was a very big fan of acquiring Santi Jimenez from Feyenoord. To be honest, did not watch him play full games in the Champions League, which was like the major reason why people were clamoring for us to sign him. His performances in the Champions League against Bayern Munich and the likes. But in the early days, I saw a bit of positive signs. The assist for Joao Felix in his first game, the goal against Empoli, and all. But the issue that I have with Jimenez is over time, it seems like his confidence has completely fizzled out. He does not offer any form of attacking threat at all in the opposition's box. He's not a striker that you look at and then you expect him to trouble the defenders, either physically, really, or in any sense whatsoever. So as of today, I can say that Jimenez is not the kind of guy that we can rely on for goals, and also to even do any form of reasonable hold-up play up front, right? So I would say in that regard, we did not resolve our striker problem in this Mercato. I also understand that Allegri sees Leao more of a striker in his current team. I do not think Jimenez is going to do a whole lot for us this season, but I'm still giving him a chance. I'm hoping that he can shut my mouth and then it's new heights. But the problem is the overall gameplay, the way that he plays with the ball. It's not his kind of striker that would do it in a 3-5-2 formation. He needs all the support that he can get from both the left flank and the right flank to be able to function. He just needs to be put in that goal scoring position and then score till his confidence is rekindled. So I don't think that we address that position in this January transfer, in this summer transfer window, to be an open topic for me.
Thank you so much. But like you rightfully mentioned, for strikers, confidence is one of the most important things. A confident striker who is able to take even the most leadless of chances and create a goal out of it. I think even right now he's struggling a whole lot. You can see him having very heavy touches, all that.
Yeah.
Primarily to just have one touch and have a goal at goal, but he seems to be struggling a whole lot. Landon, looking at the way the Milan team is right now, and with the acquisition of Nkunku, do you think that goes in any way in helping our striking situation right now, based off of the fact that Leao is not yet with the team? And we know that when he comes out, most likely Allegri would want to use him as a second striker in the 3-5-2 formation. So do you think Nkunku is able to help the team in this attacking crisis that we seem to be in right now?
Okay, so there's still a lot of unanswered questions in signing Nkunku. One thing I know is I will support whoever is in Milan until it's obvious you can't support the person again based on what the output of the person is. But if you ask me, I feel like we might need to revert to 4-2-3-1, and that in itself will be able to accommodate everybody. Nkunku sitting just behind the striker. The striker would now be Jimenez, but that in itself has its own issues. And how do I mean? We only have just one striker. So the question is, if something happens to that striker, then what happens to us, right? Also, that would mean Leao going back to the left wing, and for some funny reasons, beginning to believe that the position that Allegri is putting him, right, comes with a lot of responsibility. And I think Leao himself, is already seen that responsibility that is placed upon him and is willing to live up to that expectation. Now, if you move him back to the left wing, he will start hugging that left wing, which is one of those things I don't even want to start seeing this season. So we are in a bit of dilemma in playing 3-5-2. If you play 3-5-2, you definitely know that Leao has to play. And if you ask me, Pulisic has to play. Now, if Pulisic is playing, except we're asking Salamakas to sit down for Nkunku. Now, Nkunku doesn't seem like the kind of player too that's going to support the defense, right? So I don't know how it's going to be. But if you ask me, the only way we can accommodate this team with the kind of players we have now is to go to a 4-2-3-1. Everybody will look happy. At least you'll be able to find a place for everybody. So I don't know. It's kind of mixed up and it's not really clear. But we'll just wait for the manager. Let's just see what his plan is at the end of the day. But there's a lot of unanswered questions if you ask me.
Well, like I said, just about when we started discussing the topic, it's going to look very likely that we might have to revert to the four at the back because just Lando, just like you rightfully said, that's about the only formation that can accommodate everybody the same. Kuku coming in also would have his place in the team. Leo will have his place. Polisi will have his place. Salamakas will have his place in the team. So, like I've rightfully said, we leave that to the manager. It's his primary role to decide who does what. So, moving on. Looking at
So
the
just to
next
add, I
runs
just
of...
want to say something. Sorry to interrupt
Yes,
you.
you can go ahead.
There's going to be a lot of courses going around for the manager if he doesn't put the right set of players.
No, you can always trust Milan fans to always call out the manager when things are not going their way. At least I'm
You can
sure there
trust
are Milan
Landon.
fans
You
that
can
still
trust
called out
Landon to
Pioli till today.
place courses with the manager. Landon courses
Okay,
everybody apart
can
from
be very
Leao.
sure of that.
Peters, we all know that. We all know that. We've come to accept him for who he is. So that's just to put it in perspective. There are still Milan fans right now that still call out Pioli for whatever he did in the 6 years he spent. He has moved on, but we can always trust Milan fans to pick on people and to pick on the manager that is not doing the right job. So we're going to discuss one further thing. How do we see the end of the Mercato? Look at the way we set up. Look at the kind of players we brought in. We brought in Dogu, who had before then had never heard anything about. We brought in Rabiot, who we all know the kind of player he is and the baggage, the mommy issue he comes with. And that was how we were able to end the Mercato. What do you guys think? Lando, what do you think of how the Mercato ended for Milan? You've rightfully stated we did not resolve all the issues we have, but what do you think?
Okay, so maybe I should kick off from what you said, where you stopped. I don't think in every Mercato itself you can resolve all the issues of the team. It's not possible. For instance, Benassa is still in
It's
our
not.
team, so you honestly can't resolve all the issues.
No, if you are speaking of Benassa, Origi is a Milan player, in case you don't know.
Okay, so you understand. So you honestly can't resolve all the issues within the team. But then, if you ask me, I don't think I have a problem in the players we've brought in. I must be very honest with you. You might see me making some sort of remarks, complaints, and all that. I feel like they decided to go for players that would, how do I put it, that has some sort of return
They're ready to
value.
deliver on this, but they're ready to deliver right now.
That is
Players are
one
ready
part,
to
but not
deliver.
even that. No, not even that. That's not what I meant. Now, if you remember the time we brought in Tio, it's not like it was that known, right? But in his own space, Tio was also not like a rookie player. Do you understand?
Yeah.
There was
Yeah.
a lot of prospects with him. Same thing goes with
Mhm.
Liao. Now, most of the guys that I've seen, if you watch their comps, you can see that prospects in them, in all honesty. The only person I think I have not even spent time to watch is Odugu. But every one of them that I've brought, you can see that prospect. But I don't know how to even rate the Mercato, because the only way you can rate this Mercato and say that, okay, it's a very good one, it's how the players are going to fit into how the coach wants to set them up. Like I said, that part is still very confusing to me. So I'm looking at it. We brought, is it Akateme, so I can't remember what's his name. I'm seeing and I'm asking myself, if we keep playing the 3-5-2, yes, if we keep playing the 3-5-2, how is it going to ever play? Right? If we keep playing with the 3-5-2, except they drop a Pavlovic, which I honestly pray to God that Allegri drops him. How will what's this guy, this CB that we bought, how will he ever play?
The winter.
Do you understand? If we keep playing the 3-5-2, I've been asking, yeah, the winter. If we keep playing the 3-5-2, I've been asking myself, then where will Nkuku fit in? So it's not, for me, it's not even about the profile of the players that we've gotten. That's the truth. It's about how will this guy fit into what the coach has started the season with. Now, we're already even seeing that we brought in Rabiot. And I'm asking myself, then where would Richie fit in? Does it mean you don't even intend to play Richie? Even without bringing Rabiot, he's finding it difficult to play Richie. He's not been playing Richie. Then where exactly will he fit in? And this is somebody that we should be playing. So those are the issues I have with the Mercato. So I'm not blaming people that has brought in the players. I'm just wondering, these players that have been brought in, how will they fit into the coach that they've brought? So I don't know. That's just the whole issue for me.
Well, for me, I think it still speaks to what the manager wants. Because at this point, Allegri is not the kind of manager that you can go and get player that he doesn't want. He mentioned the players he wanted. You can clearly see that he wanted Rabiot, and he got Rabiot.
Yes, correct.
For me, I think it's going to be a function of how he's able to integrate whoever is coming in, how he's able to bring them into the team. And Duke, what do you think of the last few transfers we had in the Mercato just before the Mercato closed, particularly Rabiot and the Odogu transfer?
So for me, if you ask me to rate the Mercato, I will give it a 6/10. So I'm giving it a 6/10
Thank you
because
for being very
if you,
honest. This will be the first time that
I'm
I'll
giving it a
find Duke speaking honestly. Duke, thank you so very much. Thank you so. I'm very, very happy. I'm very, very happy.
I'm always honest. It's just that my honesty cuts across everybody,
Yes, thank
and it's
you.
something that you
That's
don't like. So yeah, so I wish this a 6/10. And the reason for this is that
Okay.
this is the second straight transfer window or somehow that Milan is doing bulk signings, right? The last time before Mercato that was overseen fully by Folani and the rest of the crew, we signed about 6, 7, 8 players, right? And this season we've done the same thing as well. Signed about 6, 7 players. So it basically shows that something did not work with the last set of players that we signed, right? And we are doing the same thing. So one of the signs of the LD team is how you are able to keep consistency, the bulk of the team, without having to like
Yeah.
transform the team like every summer or every what's it called. So that alone shows that the signings that we've been making or that we made in the past are not have not worked out the way that we planned for them to work out. But that aside, going to the departments, right? For the midfield, I would say that the midfield is sorted. We are well sorted in the midfield. So the idea that Allegri has that I think that I can see clearly is that he wants a team where the goals can come from both the attack and the midfield. So he does not want a team where the attackers are the only point of reference for goals. He wants to have a team where midfielders can also score goals, which is a very important part of the game that most of us overlook. If you look at Inter Milan, they are also able to survive spells of drought from Lautaro Martinez, where he doesn't score for like 2 months straight, and they are still winning games because they are getting goals from all around the team, from CBs to the midfielders, right? So this is the major reason why he was clamoring for Rabiot. Because Rabiot is a guy that can play box to box. That he can fill up the 18, he can score headers, he can score from outside the 18 as well. And this is also the reason why he was playing Loftus-Cheek, because he also has the ability to fill the box, even if he doesn't do it effectively. So one of the things that I also noticed is that I would not say anything yet about the signing of Richie. Why Richie is not playing? Because I noticed that in the first 2 games we did not have Liao in attack for us, which already meant that I don't think Jimenez has the confidence of Allegri. To be honest, rightfully so. We can see why he does not have Allegri's confidence, right? Not doing
Yeah, true, true.
Sure.
performing optimally. So I think the major reason for him putting Richie on the bench is because he felt that we had better chances of getting goals from either Fofana and RLC versus playing Richie, right? So in terms of how Modric plays, Modric is an all-round midfielder. Not only is he creative, he's also combative at the same time, right? So he can also do the dirty work and also be creative at the same time. So I would want to reassess Allegri's selections when Leao is back, when we have an attack that
Full team
is
is
fully
back.
confident of. So I would expect that he will bring Richie in to allow Modric to be creative, and Rabiot definitely will be starting for us for a fact. So if you look at the defense, we do not have a solid defense. This is one of the reasons why I'm giving this Mercato 6/10. We have the major players that were with us last season are still the players that are starting for us this season, which does not inspire a lot of confidence. So I would say the defense and the attack striker position was not sorted, hence the reason for the 6/10 for the Mercato. But the midfield is well sorted. It's packed in my opinion.
Thank you so very much. Just like you said, rating them is 6/10 is actually pretty decent. They brought in very good players who we don't know how they would fit into the manager's plans at the moment. So before we go, let's talk about one last thing before we end the episode for this week. Let's talk about the transfer outs. All our discussion has been about people coming in, Richie, Jashari, Odogu, and the rest of them. So let's discuss the people that have left. We sold a large chunk of players this season. I think about 9 or 10, if I'm not mistaken. Is there anybody among those people that we think really should still be in the team? Duke, is there any of those people that left that you think should still be in the team? Apart from, I think, CEO, who you can go ahead.
To be honest, I think that in the feedback that we got from Tare and Folani was that Allegri decided to change the formation towards the end of the Mercato, which meant that a lot of players were no longer necessary, they were no longer needed. But I think that the player that could have still been useful for us in attack would have been our Okafor, for us to have kept for that 3-5-2 formation. So the issue is how fit would he have been? How fit could he have been? How many games would he have been able to play? But it could still have been useful for us off the bench, knowing fully well that we did not really solve that Jimenez situation, right? So I think for me, the only standout player is Noah Okafor that I would have kept from the Mercato. Every other person is out of depth because of the change of formation. Because is a winger, we don't play with wingers anymore. So I think, yeah, Okafor stands out for me.
Okay, like you rightfully mentioned, Okafor would have helped us in that attack because he's capable of playing as a striker also. That means he would have been able to function in the 3-5-2 formation for Milan. London, is there anybody or do you have any issues about anybody being sold at this particular point in the Mercato?
Not necessary. No, I don't think so. And why do I say so? I feel like a lot of the guys that went, but before I even proceed, I just want to confirm: is Adley still with us? Is he still in the team?
Yes,
He has been
yeah,
sold.
still in the team. He's still in the team. But it's just been
Okay, so
frozen out, I think.
I've watched these guys for a while. Even Okafor preseason, yes, you could see some signs of like, okay, oh, this is Okafor. But one thing I've noticed with them, a lot of the players, you give them a bit of time into the season, you start seeing yourself what's happening to these guys. So honestly, trust me, every one of them that has left, I feel like they needed to leave. Because when it's the thing about keeping players for depth purposes is when the main starters are tiring out and you bring them in, what are they able to do? That I've seen over time, you see that these guys, they just come in and you start asking yourself, why you be start asking for those same guys that are supposed to even start sitting at the bench, maybe because they are tiring out. You discover that you are still clamoring for them to come back. And that's what I've discovered about a lot of our players, even the likes of Okafor and most of them that was so honestly, I don't think I miss anyone. I just feel like this new set of players, if they can fit in and let's just see where we take it from there. So no, at all, not at all. I don't miss anybody.
All right, thank you so very much, Landon. And I think with that, we've come to the end of our episode for this week. Thank you so much for joining me, Landon. Thank you, Duke, for joining us on the AC Milan Fan Club podcast for this week. Ultimately, I think if we're able to get everything right, players fit into what the coach wants, it's going to be a good season for us. So thank you so much for watching this video. This is AC Milan Fan Club Nigeria podcast. Please like, share, comment, take this, show this to people, to Milan fans all over the world. And you can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on X, on Facebook, on Instagram, everywhere. Thank you so much for joining me, Landon. Thank you so very much, Duke. We'll see you on the next episode. Bye, guys.